Hey guys, it's Megan, and if you're new to my channel, you probably don't know the drill. But if you are new to my channel, please subscribe and join my awkward little internet family because we're growing and I can't wait to see where this channel goes, and I'd like to take you with me on this awkward little journey. But if you're not new, you know the drill, and I don't know why you haven't done it yet, but please hit that bell down below and turn on notifications so you can get notified every time I upload a new video, which is every Monday and Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. My face looks kind of oily, and that's probably because I put coconut oil on my eyelids earlier today. But I wanted to give you kind of like an update on my mental health as of March 2018, just because like things are changing and I thought I should update you guys because I do want to be very open about my mental health on this YouTube channel because I am a psychology major and I believe very strongly in talking about your mental health and not keeping it a secret, because if you keep it a secret then it can lead to self-stigmatization and then you get even worse because you spiral down into a cycle of self-doubt because it feels like you're not validated because you don't know if what you're feeling is real. So it's important to talk about what you're going through so you don't experience so much self-stigma, which is a really important thing that we need to talk about. But yeah, and like outside stigma and all that is a thing, and that's why it's hard to talk about mental health sometimes because you don't want people to judge you for not being okay. But I'm here to tell you that it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to talk about not being okay. So I wanted to talk about how I'm doing, and if you clicked on this video, you probably saw the title already, and it says that I'm okay. And for the first time in a really long time, I'm able to say that I am doing okay. For the longest time, I've suffered from anxiety and depression, and I have ADD. Then I've got some physical problems like my thyroid issue and also insomnia. But like, I'm not gonna lie and say that the depression and anxiety are gone. Like, I still have really bad anxiety pretty often, and the depression does get me, but I'm experiencing some pretty good days lately, and that's a good thing, and I'm so happy about it. And I think it's because I've changed like my routine of spending my weekends and spending my downtime off class. Sorry about the camera shaking, I'm switching hands. But like for the fall semester this year, I spent a lot of it alone and sad because I didn't really know what to do with myself, because I had my friends, but I wasn't as close with them as I am now, and I wasn't really comfortable going to them when I had emotional turmoil and emotional issues. Like, I would get super sad, like super sad. And a few times I talked to my group chat about it, and they were supportive of me and they were nice to me and like helped me. But then a couple weeks later, I found out that one of the people was a little bit annoyed that I was being so negative in the group chat, I guess, and talking about not happy things, and I was being too depressing. And that was kind of heartbreaking, so I kind of stopped talking about those things with those friends. That person isn't one of the people I'm hanging out with anymore, but like that was kind of heartbreaking. But now things are looking up, and I've got some pretty great people that I'm hanging out with, and they're actually the group of people that I played Dungeons and Dragons with. It's been really helpful, I think, for me to play that game with them. And if you've never played it before, I highly recommend it because like I've never played it before. I started playing it this year, and it's pretty fun. I really like it. If you like Skyrim, you'll probably like it. But I've just been doing really good lately, and yeah, like I said, I'll still have my really bad days, but I'm also starting to have some really good days, and I think that's a good sign. And I, for the longest time, went through this phase of thinking that depression was something I was just gonna have to live with and that I couldn't get rid of on my own, and that it was a part of my personality. And I think that's why it was so hard for me to think that it was possible to get rid of it, because I had been convinced by media and by people who weren't experts, who were talking about their experience with depression as if they were experts, and they had me believing that I was stuck with this forever. And those people were also people who talked about it like it was a competition to see how sad you were, and if you were the saddest, then you were winning. It was toxic, really. But I've been in an abnormal psych class where we talk about these like issues and disorders, and honestly, after being in this class, I'm realizing, like, you know what? I can put matters into my own hands and I can fix the problem. And something we were talking about in that class was how possibly a big reason why people don't get better from depression very quickly is because they can't think in the abstract. It's not something that's been like 100% proven, because nothing in science can really be 100% proven. Well, nothing in like social science can be 100% proven. But yeah, we talked about how you can't always think about things in the abstract and think about having an internal locus of control instead of an external, where you believe that everything is happening to you out of your control. But if you look at it from another perspective, I don't know what clicked in my head that made it so I could think that way. But honestly, because I haven't been in therapy since I was a senior in high school, and I'm feeling okay, and I feel better now than I did when I was in therapy. And I'm not saying that therapy doesn't work, because I know for a fact that therapy works. For me, it worked better to find that kind of internal sense of control, and it feels good to feel like I have a handle on my life. And if you haven't seen my video where I talked about how I thought I died, I mentioned in that video that after having, like, in the past, having thoughts of suicide and thoughts of wanting to die, and then that event happened where I thought I actually did die, I realized that I like being alive, and that I'm never ever going to consider taking my own life, because I like being alive even when life sucks sometimes. Like, I actually enjoy it, and I think that that's pretty freaking cool. So as much as college is stressing me out, I'm pretty overwhelmed with the schoolwork, but that's a normal thing to be stressed out about. As much as all of the normal things are stressing me out, I'm not having as much, what's the word for it? I'm not having as many irrational anxieties as I used to, and I think that's a great thing, and I'm happy with that. And I'm doing so much better than I have in the past, and I'm happy with it. And I know that a big part of it is because of something I did while I was on spring break. I talked about it a little in my last video, or it's not my last video, it was a video from like a week ago, I think. In the video where I titled it Going Blonde Again, it was basically a vlog from my spring break, and I talked about what I did that I didn't know if I really wanted to talk about it, because it does involve my ex-boyfriend, and I want to respect his privacy and not say anything negative about him, because he doesn't deserve that. He's a really good person, and I'm really glad I did what I did. And what I did was, I got in contact with him and asked if we could have an in-person adult conversation about the way things went down, and I wanted to apologize for a lot of the things I said at the beginning of the breakup, because I was very irrational. I said things I regretted, and I acted like a crazy ex-girlfriend, and I wish I hadn't done that, but I apologized for all that, and we talked, and it was nice to catch up with him, and we've been trying to be friends, and we've been talking or texting like friends, and it's nice to have him back in my life, because he was my best friend for 2 years. He was my best friend for like not all of high school. He was my best friend for all of my senior year, and then all of my first year of college, and those were 2 major years in my life. And he was my best friend when I lost my original best friend, and he was there for me for a lot of that. So like, he was too important to me to just like lose him as a friend completely and forever, which I know a lot of people think that in breakups you should just cut the person off completely, and it's good to get the space at the beginning, but sometimes it's healthy to have an adult conversation with them and discuss how things went down, and apologize when apologies are warranted, and when you mean it, not just apologizing to apologize, but really apologizing when you mean it. And I think it was a really good thing for me to have this conversation with him, because after doing that, I feel so much happier knowing that he doesn't hate me, and knowing that he knows that I don't hate him, and knowing that he knows that I'm there for him if he needs a friend, and knowing that he's there for me if I need a friend. And that's really nice, and I'm glad he's back in my life, even if it is just friends. So if you have an ex that maybe had a similar situation to me, where you broke up but like they were your best friend for a long time, and you didn't break up because of some crazy event, and you just kind of fell out of being in love, I guess, like, it might be good for you to have a conversation with them, because I know that up until I had this conversation with him, I had panic attacks. Not almost daily, but almost every other day I would have a panic attack about it, because I would wake up from dreams about wondering what it would be like if I had a conversation with him, or wondering what if, like that whole what if thing. And before talking to him, I had a few people tell me that I was expecting too much out of having a conversation with him, or that I had my hopes too high, but my hopes were just that I would be okay. And I am okay. I still get sad about things, and I still care about him, but like, that's out of my control, and I understand that it's out of my control, so I'm not gonna let it eat away at me. But it was in my control to have a conversation with him and talk things out like an adult, and I feel really happy that I did that. So I would recommend trying to do that if it's possible for you to do that with an ex. I know it can be really hard sometimes, especially if there's a lot of hostile feelings, but I do recommend it, because closure is a good feeling. And now I kind of feel like I could actually move on and maybe see other people. Like, I tried before, but every time I tried, I would just like think this is never gonna work, because I don't know where ends are with my ex, and like, I would just think straight back to how much I missed him and how much I needed to have a closure conversation with him. So it was hard for me to even consider being with other people. but now it's just like, I think I can move on, and I'm glad he's my friend now. And I know a lot of people say that you shouldn't be friends with your exes because if they didn't see your worth when you were together, they won't see your worth as a friend, but I don't think that's true. I think that if it didn't work out as a relationship, but you still miss them as a friend, then you should be friends with them, because you don't have to be in love with all your friends. That's like, you love your friends as in like you care about them and you don't want them to get hurt, but you don't have to be like romantic with them, I guess. So there's that. This video is probably about 20 minutes long, uncut, maybe even longer, so I should probably end it here, but I wanted to update you guys on my mental health and just say that I'm doing okay, and I'm genuinely happy right now. Like maybe I look a little out of it, and that's because I'm really tired. It's 9:30 on a Saturday. It's actually St. Patrick's Day as I'm recording this, and I did wear green today. I wore green socks, but you know, I don't really participate in the holiday, and I'm really glad that nobody pinched me, because I don't look like I'm wearing green. I'm just wearing a like shirt that my sister gave me. Well, she didn't give it to me, she just was gonna give it to Goodwill, but I took it. But if you enjoyed this video, please leave it a big thumbs up, because it makes me smile and I like to smile. And if you want to stalk me outside of YouTube, my social media handles are right here on the screen. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe and join my awkward little internet family, because I want to spread positivity and I want people to feel comfortable talking about their mental health on the internet and in person and just with other people. So yeah, join my awkward little internet family. And if you are already a member of my awkward little internet family, please turn on notifications so you can get notified every time I upload a new video, which is every Monday and Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And I think that's everything I say for the outro. Yeah, I am gonna go probably do some homework and then play some video games and then go to sleep. So yeah, I love you and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!